how do say a little bit about how you hold our particular list of 7 in your
Mm-hmm.
Callanish.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that they're definitely when, in relation to what you've described and we describe as the conditions for healing, it fits. If we think of what we do on retreat in regards to some of these things, that, food is central, and food, that is research based, as we know, plants, organic, some organic fish, and so the food is really interesting to me because, again, all of these categories actually have such a strong kind of connection to culture, background, personality. There's a kind of body, mind, spirit level of all these practices. So, for example, the eating well. We had a woman come on retreat who didn't even understand what the food was we were providing. She came from a background that didn't know what healthy eating was in our view of what healthy eating was. And I remember our main cook then, Kathy, after about 3 days, went up to her and said, like, what's happening? You're not really eating anything. And she said, I don't know what this food is. I don't know what brown rice is. I don't know what quinoa is, and all of the things we, think is and know is healthy. So Kathy said to her, so what do you usually eat? And she said, well, I eat basically meat and potatoes, and that's all I know. And so then when we looked at her in terms of her retreat experience, we were giving her something that was not actually helping her in some ways because she was anxious about it and wasn't getting enough food. So what Kathy did is she went out and she bought a tiny little piece of beautiful beef, and she made her mashed potatoes and gravy and some vegetables. And I thought, now that is meeting people where they are. And I thought, we can't get too rigid. And that's what I love about this website, this beautiful opening up of the research base, which I'm always looking for that. And I love how sound these practices are in terms of the research. I think it's very powerful to know that, this is how to eat. But then there's all these other layers, aren't there, about culture, people who don't eat Western food. How do we manage that on retreat? And we've learned so much about, I'm just taking food as one example, and we have to really say, what is nutrition for you? And not be too prescriptive, because this is the problem, I think, with so much of the cancer world. It's, you do these 10 things and you're going to be fine. Of course, this isn't how it works, but there are definitely, and that's what I love about the site. It's not prescriptive. It's saying, this is what we know. This is what we know about these foods. This is what we know about exercise. This is what we now really understand about sleep. So I love that. Like, I love that within an openness to say, who are you and what can we do and what's healing food for you? And I just found that so moving, that this woman was eating her little steak and potatoes and feeling at home suddenly. Somebody noticed, somebody cared about her. So this is a powerful thing in all of those practices, that what does sleep mean to each person? It's so different. There's so much anxiety about sleep now. We have to, so all of it. Then you've got this beautiful section on managing stress, managing stress about the prescriptive nature of, what you should eat and how you should, all these things. So I think what we do, and I know at Commonweal too, is try and lift off all of that, and uncover what is your path and what can you manage, I think it's overwhelming to think I've got to tackle all these things. But I love that you can take one of those 7 practices and say, okay, sleep is the biggest thing for me. It's causing me the most stress, for example. And then go into all the, the research and start to begin to tackle, this very important piece of well-being and health in the midst of, your cancer experience. So I think it's powerful to think of, ourselves in relation to what we're supposed to do, and then what feels life-giving. For some people, walking in the forest is terrifying. Forest bathing is, everyone's talking about. For some people, they won't step into a forest. They've never been in a forest. They don't know, is it a safe place? So I love that we, I think in all of our work and all the centers, is we're very much about the individual. We're not saying here's a prescription for you. But if you're interested to learn about food that, we understand through science. So I love the balance, that we try to hold this perspective that we are unique and that we can't really, tell people what they should or shouldn't do, even though we like to do that. I certainly, have learned about how to hold back more often and trust the person's own intelligence about what they need to heal.
Janie, I so agree. People can feel so overwhelmed by a sense of all the things they, quote, have to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a delicate balance between putting out 7 healing practices. We know they have benefit, but how careful we are about the evidence.
Mm-hmm.